Osiris.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hi, how's it going? This is Karina Rykman, and we are here with a brand new episode of Inappropriate Happiness, and I am joined, as always, by my mainest dude, Mr. Isaac Slone. Isaac, hello. How's it going?
Karina, it's great to hear your voice. I look forward to being reunited with you this weekend at the Peach Music Festival, and I think we have a lot of ground to cover on the episode today.
Oh, I could not agree more on all counts. I can't believe Peach is already this weekend. Obviously, a festival near and dear to me heart, and my second time playing. But I feel like before I ever played it, I think I attended it 3 or 4 times, and it's a beautiful time. Montage Mountain, Scranton, Pennsylvania, just fantastic. In the lineage of the Allman Brothers band family, and a lot of that going on. We got Trey. We've got Goose. We'll talk about both of those people and bands in a hot minute. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a beautiful weekend. We have Billy Strings, the Revivalists, the Black Crows. Those are, some of the bigger names. We have Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. Our dear friend Marlo Shankweiler, who produces this podcast, is also in a band called Melt. And Melt will be performing 2 sets on Saturday at Peach Fest, and one on the main stage and one on the Grove stage later that day, which we all cannot wait for. And I will be performing on Saturday with my namesake band, and on Friday with Marco Benevento. So it's bound to be jam-packed, Isaac. It's bound to be jam-packed, and I can't wait to see you there and just to run amok in these streets.
It's, definitely something I'm greatly looking forward to. I've only attended it once, and I really haven't done the music festival thing since shows have returned after a brief pandemic-related hiatus, mostly seeing shows in theaters but so, real kind of outdoor 3-day holiday weekend festival. I guess it's even 4 days. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's amazing. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. You kind of haven't been to a music festival.
I haven't, Wow. I haven't been to a music festival. It's very bizarre.
Is that really true?
I'm going to be feeling the feeling I forgot.
Without a doubt. I mean, you're gonna become another person.
I'm gonna become another person at this music festival.
That is so deep cuts, man. I didn't even think of that. I mean, shit. Well, actually, you have been to a music festival. You've been to the Catskill Mountain Jubilee.
Oh, yes. How could I forget the Catskill Mountain Jubilee?
That was last year's music festival for you. Oh, and Floyd Fest. Boom.
Yeah, that's true.
Boom. You see? It's all good. But this is good. This is good. We gotta, it would put too much emphasis on Beach Fest.
When Karina says I was at the Catskill Mountain Jubilee.
Yes, please tell our listeners what that means.
I sat in a hot RV with Karina and her band for a couple of hours, then watched them play a fantastic set of music, shopped around the hippie paraphernalia while listening to Melvin Seals and the JGB in the, distance, and then went home and went to a barbecue and swim with Karina and her fellas. So, I mean, that's a great music festival right there. But,
totally.
Looking forward to seeing you on the main stage at Beach Fest. No offense to the Catskill Mountain Jubilee. I will be back this year to see the Disco Biscuits there. So I have to maintain a good relationship with that festival.
Absolutely. Fantastic. No, you're right. I mean, these are, I think they're slightly different experiences. But, man, Melvin Seals got, that sun-soaked set, and poor guy, you just saw him cooking down 90-degree heat. They had to bring an umbrella out for him. It was wild. Anyway, good times at the Catskill Mountain Jubilee. But yes, Peach Fest, and for those of you who can't make it this weekend, Peach Fest and nugs.net oh yeah, have partnered up, and shit is going to be ridiculously ill, because you can, if you're a Nugs.net subscriber, you can watch the sets. And that's super, super epic. So please tune in, watch the sets, get crazy with your bad selves on the couch. I think that's fantastic. And it's nice that, people are making live music like accessible to folks who can't make it, don't want to go, whatever it might be. I think it's wonderful. So good times all around. And as we were saying, Isaac, there's a lot to talk about in general, without a doubt. But one thing, in our corner of the universe, definitely, trumps all, sort of feels like just this momentous, crazy occasion and, thing that happened on, both Friday and Saturday nights in our hometown of New York City. And Isaac, thank goodness you were there. And of course, I'm referring to Goose's 2-night stand at Radio City Music Hall, at which they welcomed a plethora of guests. And on the second night, I think most notably, we have Father John Misty for the first set. And then, yes, you know it, we love it, Mr. Trey Anastasio from the band The Fish from Vermont joined them for just about the entire second set. Now, Isaac, since you were there, we have to defer to you on just about all of this. Holy shit, it's... when they say meteoric rise for the band, they couldn't be more correct. What an incredible weekend for them, including playing on CBS the morning of the Saturday show. It just boggles the mind how much work and care went into this weekend. Please wax poetic.
Well,
on how this all went.
I do have to correct you. Father John Misty sat in for the second set, and Trey sat in for the third set.
Yay!
These shows were 3-set shows. We can talk about the rise in popularity, but let's just talk about the ambitious nature of this whole thing for a second. Like,
please.
A band like Goose that really took off in the past 2 years or so, which was a time that was a struggle for a lot of bands in a lot of ways, to headline 2 nights at Radio City Music Hall, and to do so with a new album, Dripfield, which came out on Friday, and to choose to play 3 sets, 2 nights, that's 6 sets for the whole weekend. That is ambitious. And, I have to say,
beyond.
I have been seeing Goose for a little over 2 years. I saw them for the first time at the Music Hall of Williamsburg in January of 2020, and saw them a good deal during the pandemic. They were doing these socially distant shows at South Farms and the Westville Music Bowl and a number of other places, but those were the 2 places I saw them quite a bit. And it was really a special experience, at a time we were so starved for live music, to see a band that was starved to play it and, really develop their songwriting and their style of jamming and the kind of show that they put on in that time. And so it was at once a kind of victory lap, and also, like I said, it was just so much went into these shows that they were working really hard this weekend, and it all paid off tremendously, as I'm very excited to talk about.
Incredible, really incredible. And yes, I'm glad you stopped me there. And to open your 2 Radio City Music Hall shows yourself with an acoustic set to kick it all off. Ambitious, it doesn't even cover it. It's like, so I'm just thinking about the that amount of lyrics to learn, and just like all of it is just incredible and commendable. The music sounds amazing, even for somebody who was not there, and I'm soaking it up retroactively and from all the soundboards and clips people are posting and whatnot. It's fascinating just to dive in and see the way, even the new tunes that have obviously, you know, some have been played, some haven't, whatever. It's just like wild to see all that happen. And I don't know, Jackaro, like I'm just like, wow, guys, it's so wild. And then of course we have, you know, the sit-ins, and night one even was awesome. And of course Dave Goodwin, you know, owner of the Isacon studio where they recorded Dripfield up in Woodstock, New York. You know, it's very cool to welcome him to the stage. Very cool to welcome Stu Bogey to the stage. Like, you know, Friday sit-ins would have already been incredible, you know? And then of course they just walloped us all over the head the next day. By, you know, you can only imagine how happy they were to welcome Father John Misty and Trey Anastasio to the stage. It's incredible.
Well, I thought, you know, part of what really struck me about Friday is besides the Jackaro, all of the songs were originals, which is very, very cool. And the acoustic set, you know, you don't know how things are going to go when a band you love goes acoustic. Sometimes it's amazing. It's a very cool way to see one of your favorite artists. And at other times, it's a little bit slow. And I have to say, this acoustic set really, the first night, exceeded all expectations. I thought the jams that they were able to get into on acoustic instruments, the percussion and drums were kept, you know, things really going and really, you know, driving. And they were... you know, it was very clear to anyone who was in the room early that the band was locked in from the moment go, you know, and very, very impressed by that.
So cool. And then when you walked in on day two, you know, the cat was sort of out of the bag. Just based on some social media posts that people had seen and various, you know, whatever. So what are you thinking walking into the club, the prestigious theater on night two?
Well, I mean, that's an element of it, right? We're so used to being in clubs, seeing this kind of music. So we're like in this beautiful room. You know how sometimes a show starts before it starts?
Certainly.
You know,
certainly.
And I think that's an interesting thing to even delve deeper into. And I don't know, you know, I'll just talk about my experience of it. But, you know, these shows started for me on like Thursday afternoon. And just kept building and building. So like the whole day, Saturday to me was a show, you know, from the rumblings of Trey sitting in to pictures of his gear being loaded into the theater, posted, and the band too being on CBS in the morning and then doing a signing at Rough Trade in the middle of the afternoon. My focus was very much on these concerts and the impending collaboration, pretty much all weekend. And, you know, which our friend Shelley Marks likes to say, well, it was great for me, you know, as an appreciator of long form experience, long form concert and music, to have the band create a feeling where the whole weekend was exciting, even in the moments they weren't playing music, they just out of sheer anticipation and delight and real success, was just really enjoyable and powerful.
So cool. Truly so cool. And then you're there, set one is happening, they're killing it. And then, like, how is this, like, you know, what is the vibe? I mean, I already know what the vibe is, but, like, man, what was your experience of all this? Like, you're sitting there and just people, you know, Father John Misty's coming out for the second set. I'm sure people, you know, had the thought that was Trey, but it was Father John Misty. Like, what's that all about? You know, did people, what, you know, were you taking in others' reactions too? Or like, what's the vibe?
Well, I don't know if this has been really noticed or this was just me, but it did seem like they were starting to tease Back on the Train before Father John Misty came out.
Yes. No, I've read that.
People are saying that.
Yes. I've definitely read that.
I knew that was a gag. Like, I sort of thought, like, I don't think that they're going to welcome Trey out to Back on the Train. But it was, awfully creative of them to throw that in there and introduce Father John Misty. And, they have clear admiration for him. It was so palpable. They were like, this guy is a legend. I don't really know about Father John Misty, I'm sorry to say. I think Goose has turned me on to Father John Misty now. Because it was very cool to see them with him, and to see this kind of it's a real sort of fusion when you invite somebody else up on stage for a sit-in, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it works because it's passable and fine, but even with the horns and the extra guitar player on the first night, they really thought about how this was going to go. It was very intentional. There wasn't anything that felt sort of, faltery
by the seat of their pants,
gimmicky, or by the seat of their pants about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Which again, like it's a funny thing when we're talking about largely improvisational music, right? Like how much is planned and premeditated, and how much is whimsical and by the seat of your pants, you know what I mean? And how those two things can, coexist. And by planning, you set yourself up for freedom and improvisation and all those things, And it's a funny thing because we're talking about a band that fuses this sort of indie rock vibe and very much song-based, They've said, and they said in that Relics interview they just did, they talk about how, they really are quite song focused, as opposed, I'm sure there are a lot of jam bands that would tell you that they are far less song focused, and whatever. And when I hear Dripfield, the record, I hear largely an indie rock record with jam influence, of course, but you're talking about a band that fuses those two things. So it's kind of, I think, interesting to think about the sort of methodology behind these sit-ins, the weekend at large, like it seemed very much premeditated, like you're saying, things were, they thought about how this was all going to go, and it showed, and it seems like it worked beautifully on all counts. Did you notice something different with, between sit-ins on night one, Father John Misty and Trey, in terms of how those all sort of work together, or how they differed? Did you notice anything in the way that they differed or worked together or whatever, That's a good question. With Stuart Bogey, Dave Nelson, and James Goodwin on Hot Tea and Arrow on the first night, the horns are on the album. Sure.
And so when I heard the horns on the album, having been familiar with the songs in the live repertoire, I kind of thought, well, this is funny. It's changing it up a bit. And even when they started Hot Tea, it was a little bit slower than they typically play it. But then they really got into it, and it was so clear that, Bogey and Dave Nelson and, that they were a part of the crafting of these songs in a way. And
sure.
It allowed them, like, we're talking about, it set them up to be able to riff on them and play them and own them, kind of as if they were their own.
Sure.
And, I thought that was particularly special. And after Bogey gives a long solo on Hot Tea, it goes back over to Rick, on guitar, who just completely delivered. I mean, you could tell he was riding high on the soloing, that they were really amplifying each other and really giving the song everything they could, because you can imagine they did take after take of it, or worked it around in the studio, or mixed it, and that there have been sort of different drafts of it. So when they were on stage together at Radio City Music Hall, they really could just make it everything that it was to them individually as artists with inclinations and ambition and things that they're hearing, but also together as a group that have made these songs come to life and put them on record.
So sick.
So
incredible.
That in and of itself was really very cool.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And then,
I
think we should probably talk about, night 2, set 3 at this point, right?
Probably should. So, you're there and the curtains, come up, and then bada bing, bada boom. What is happening?
So they open the set with a song called Silver Rising. All good, enjoyable, sure. And then they bring out Trey Anastasio from Fish, and of course, all at once, every question about this sit-in has entered my mind. Are they going to play a Fish song? Are they going to play a cover? What are they going to do? And they start their collaboration with Hunger Sight, which is a tune off the new album. And Trey, is already adding a lot because there is a guitar line, a guitar melody to that song, and Trey is echoing it and playing right off of Rick. And so it's clearly a 2-guitar sit-in. It's not just going to be Trey taking a solo on one of their songs. It is them working together. And Trey began to sing the chorus along with them, like actually sing it, not just sort of mark the words. And this is a Goose original. And so, he has joined in with it. He is not standing to the side. He's not, coming on and doing his piece and getting off the stage. He is there. And the moment he drops into his solo, I think it's a moment that, a lot of people are sharing on video. It was just ecstatic. I mean, it was just, you could hear him bringing full Trey tone and, embodiment to his guitar. And it was just electric in Radio City Music Hall.
So incredible. I mean, to go so deep with a sit-in, sing the band's original tunes with them and join in and just kind of become a piece of it, and it's one of the most glowing endorsements anyone could ever hope to get from their hero, So, I mean, these guys got to be, on cloud 9 for the rest of their lives from this night, and I think it's such a beautiful thing. And the fact that he went above and beyond, like you say, not marking it, really singing it, really playing the parts, really having learned all of this music and hashed it all out. And, we're seeing now in the coming days, such incredible sound check photos and just really what a moment for them, because you gotta know it feels incredible to have the validation from somebody that you admire so much. And he clearly admires them too, and so do we, and it's just so cool. And we're so thrilled for Goose. This obviously is a story that trumps. So it's like it felt like just like the biggest thing to happen in our universe in a hot minute somehow. I don't know. It was just like so palpably exciting, even for me, who I was certainly not there on the ground experiencing it like you, but even I sort of felt like, the shows started on, Friday morning and I felt them, nowhere to be found. So really, really amazing. And we would be remiss if we didn't say, Peter on night 1, before a note of music was played, mentioned the recent very unfortunate happenings regarding Roe v. Wade. And we got to say it here at Inappropriate Happiness. We are 1,000% for a woman's right to choose what's right for her. And I am completely appalled and, revolted at what's going on in this country, and it needs to be amended immediately. It's sickening. I can't believe it. It's completely repugnant, and I can't even believe that we're going so far back in time when we've been working so hard to make, healthcare for women and just people, what? I could go on and on. It's absolutely unthinkable, but good on Peter. And good on so many musicians, actually, around the world for, starting off their sets with a moment of, guys, this is fucked up. There's a great Phoebe Bridgers chant where she got everybody to say, fuck the Supreme Court, which was awesome. Olivia Rodrigo gave a great one. So many folks.
Yeah, Dwyer with Dead and Co. Certainly worked it into
Yeah.
their set. But yeah, no, I am right there with you. We are for the right to choose at Inappropriate Happiness. If you're not, you should really reevaluate your thinking on that, because this is an issue that disproportionately affects people of color, people of lower classes, and it's amazing to see the music community come out as they have around this. Of course, it's not ideal at all, but it is, I've seen a lot of bands and few of them have made statements, and this was certainly the most striking to me.
Certainly. And, their show happened to fall on a very fucked up day for America. A very fucked up day. I mean, unprecedentedly fucked up. So, it was a timely moment to say something, I would say, for sure. So we appreciate that. And our friend Dave Schools made mention of this, actually, during the song Blight.
Yes.
In beautiful Morrison, Colorado, at the Red Rocks Amphitheater at Widespread Panic's sort of home away from home, which went down over the weekend as well, which we definitely don't mean to make light of, given the Goose Tray happenings, because as we know, never miss a Sunday show. Panic Red Rocks is the coolest shit ever. Not that I've ever been, but I can only imagine that is where the stars align, baby. So we're stoked that Panic had a seemingly incredible 3-night run at Red Rocks. And I'm telling you, next year's the year. I keep telling myself every year I'm going to make it out for Panic at Red Rocks.
I know. I feel that way too.
Man.
I just love that they hold the record there for most consecutive sold-out shows.
That's why it's just so cool, right? It's just like, man, that place is so incredible, whoever's playing, but, you guys hold the record? Yeah, that's something to hang your hat on, so.
I think it's 65 sold out.
Fuck. I mean, you gotta love that.
It's crazy. And on Sunday, so Never Miss a Sunday show, I think they played almost 4 hours.
Jesus
They just
Christ.
kept playing. I mean, the second set is, just take a look at it. It's big on the set list because it's Machine into Barstools and Dreamers, Stranger into Strangeland, into Hard Night, Rain's Gonna Fall, Walking for Your Love, Trashy, Driving Song, Party at Your Mama's House, Drums, Arlene, Dear Prudence, Protein Drink, Sewing Machine. It just they just kept playing.
It's they're still playing.
Obviously, they don't need to prove it to anyone. They've already sold out all of these shows.
Unbelievable stuff. We tip our hats to you, Widespread Panic. You guys are kind of the coolest of all time, and we love you.
They're coming to our town next for 5 nights at the Beacon Theater this July. I will be at all of them. I hope to see you there.
Let's go. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Nothing like a little Yankee Panic. That's what we like to call it when they come to the Northeast. So that's very exciting. And then, of course, Isaac, another band. We got to say it. The Disco Biscuits are playing in motherfucking Iceland.
More things I will be at.
More things really up Isaac's alley. Also mine. I'm not gonna lie to you. So this is exciting. Umphreys sort of walked so the Disco Biscuits can run to Iceland, and I feel like we've spoken about it before. It's such a I would love to go to Iceland, but to me, when I picture all inclusive event, I'm picturing Mexico. I'm picturing the Dominican Republic. Lounging in a beach chair, nursing a hangover, just totally chill. But then in Iceland, I'm like, wow, all right. So we have the Blue Lagoon and geysers and, black sand beaches, kind of incredible. But fuck yeah, Disco Biscuits.
We do have some time to plan. This is the Transatlantic 2023 festival, May 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And it's at Harpa, which is this, I guess, gorgeous music hall, legendary place. And like Goose at Radio City, when a band, I mean, particularly the Disco Biscuits, let's face it, but when, a band that isn't exactly considered, highbrow Night at the Opera, get to play in a place of prestige and beauty and, also kind of unique, recognition of its own. It's like, really? We get to do this here? Wow.
Yeah, no, it adds a little something spicy for the kids. Yeah, no, it's a little, it's wild. It is a wild thing. I mean, I hope Jonesy sits in.
I really hope Jonesy sits in for a little Portal to an Empty Head or, Above the Waves with Jonesy would be really cool.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. I think this is great. Wow. So, I mean, there's no way. I mean, they definitely are hoping and counting on people from the United States to fly over for this, y'all. I don't think they're looking for a new Icelandic following, though. You never know. I mean, maybe maybe they get down.
I think some locals went to Humphreys, is what I heard.
Is that right? That's awesome.
That.
That's
yeah.
incredible. Well, fucking bring it on, y'all. Bring it on. Grab your Icelandic Disco Biscuits tickets now. Are they on sale? Yeah, I mean, they probably are. It's good.
I think they go on sale.
They're not.
7-Eleven.
Dude, fucking 7-Eleven. Mark your calendars. That's also a Biscuits song, am I correct? No,
it is.
I'm
thinking
something else. Oh, dude, I am so dialed in. Really amazing stuff, Isaac. Really amazing stuff. I mean, dude, all the wonderful things happening all at once. It's absolutely just insane. What a weekend of music. It's so cool to look back on. And again, it bears repeating. Shout out to Goose. So much work, so much care, so many songs, so many guests. Huge congrats. It's just a really cool thing to, like you say, see a band come up in the last 2 years to such a meteoric, and quick, but not quick, the Moon Cabin, whatever, it came out in 2016, like they've been doing this a whole long time and refining their shit. And it's just really cool to be able to take part in it and see the fruits of their labor come to fruition. So we are proud.
There was a moment that really does stand out. Peter starts to take a piano solo during the Empress of Organos, and Trey looks over and is watching him and is like sort of smiling a bit. And then Trey motions to whoever's mixing the monitors. Shout out to that guy, because that was a big undertaking. And
that's my boy Sam Bardani. Shout out to Sam Bardani. He mixed my set at Bonnaroo. He is a straight gangster. We love Sam Bardani. He does both front of house and monitors for Goose. What a fucking legend. Shout
Sam,
out.
If you're listening or whatever, Sam, I hope you caught this too. I mean, I guess you did because it was your job, but I hope it all sat in with you the way it did for me, because Trey motions over to Sam and asks to hear Peter louder in his monitor. And I just thought that is beautiful, because, he is just seeing what's going on here and wanting more of it.
Fucking A, man. You gotta hear what's going on when you're up there. It's such an important job. It's such an important job. It's so funny, and I'll tell you from my perspective, we always laugh about it because, I don't have a monitor engineer when I tour. I have a front of house engineer, but you get always the house monitor guy, basically, for the most part. And man, I know it's a tough job, but it really is a tough job, because it's dialed in well a very small percentage of the time, and it's sometimes it's a struggle up there when you can't hear what the hell's going on. And that's with my 3-piece, let alone a band with so many more components. It's just like I can't even imagine the struggles. So shout out to all the monitor engineers out there. I know it ain't easy, and we appreciate you, because, hearing what's going on around you kind of turns out it's kind of important. In fact, maybe it's the most important thing. So, wow, beautiful. Really an amazing thing. I'll take more Peter in my monitor every day. More Jeff. a little more Jeff. Can I get a little more Jeff?
Like, oh, he really, he was just like loving it and he wanted it louder. And you're like, no, he needs to hear what's going on stage.
I mean,
it's probably somewhere in the middle. It's probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, totally. No. It can be a beautiful, metaphor as well. It's both, baby. It's both. Wow. Well, let me tell you, Isaac, I feel like we've reached the end of our road here. How do you feel?
I think that's right. Goose and Trey, we'll see you at Peach Fest this weekend. No pressure. But it's all good.
I think you're good. I think
Whatever
you guys
you
are good.
It's all good.
Yeah, unbelievable. Really just wild stuff all around. And looking forward to Peach Fest. I am looking forward to Peach Fest. I am going to play a set with my band on Saturday and a set in the VIP, a DJ set. I am DJing. Oh, yeah. Which I look forward to greatly. And I'm playing with Marco Benevento on Friday. And, it's a busy little weekend for your girl me. So I cannot wait. And, stream that shit on nugs.net if you're not there, or don't. Do whatever pleases you, man. It's your life, dude. It's your body and it's your choice. And again, it is your body and your choice. Okay, let's make sure we're clear on that. Anyway, we'd like to thank Marlo Shankweiler, our producer. We'd like to thank Brian Brinkman, RJB, Matt Dwyer, everybody over at the Osiris Network. They make us sound good. They make us look good. And most importantly, they put us on.
And if you want more Goose hot takes, The Great Beyond, that's where to go. They are talking about Goose.
They are definitely talking about Goose on The Great Beyond. I mean, shit, we totally, there's gonna be a couple, 2-3 podcasts talking about Goose this week. I have a good feeling about it. So, fucking A, check out The Great Beyond. We love those guys. Shout out Greg Knight. Shout out everybody over there. We are thrilled to be here. Thank you for listening. Holy shit. Isaac, send us off with some wisdom. What do you got?
It's always a pleasure. Live music makes everything better, I think.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be good to yourselves and each other. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Beautiful. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Osiris.